before I forget, I'm going to talk about CBS's bullshit too. CBS News report on ICE officers' injuries drew huge internal concern. Just like when the New York Times did the report Screams Without Words, and there was internal concern within the New York Times on why they put forth this propaganda piece that did not meet their editorial standards. Bari Weiss pushed this article through. J.D. Vance covered it, if you remember. And then Republicans did a whole celebration tour being like, see, our guy was actually harmed. Our guy was actually harmed. Our guy Jonathan Ross was defending himself. It was bullshit. It appears Bari Weiss and CBS News were lying that the ICE agent Jonathan Ross suffered internal injuries. Even CBS journals questioned the lie being peddled to help the Trump regime. Some choice words from the article from Jasper Nathaniel. Before the original report was published, a medical producer at the network suggested in an email to colleagues that it would be helpful to ask what type of treatment he received and whether the officer received surgery or any type of procedure. In another email, an executive expressed skepticism about the broad nature of the medical diagnosis and what it actually entailed. I'm no doctor, but internal bleeding is a very broad term and can range in severity, wrote CBS News Senior Vice President David Ryder. A bruise is internal bleeding, but it can also be something serious, Ryder continued. We do know that the ICE agent walked away from the incident. We have that on camera. The network's top editor, Bari Weiss, expressed a high level of interest in the story on an editorial call on Wednesday morning, according to staffers who listened. There was big internal dissension about the internal bleeding report here last night, the CBS News staffer, who was not authorized to speak publicly, said. It was viewed as a thinly veiled, anonymous leak by the Trump administration to someone who'd carry it online. Felt to many here like we were carrying water for the admins, justifying of the shooting to keep our access to our sources, said a second network staffer, who was also not authorized to comment. Bari Weiss reportedly expressed a high level of interest in pushing the ICE agent internal injury story, even as a CBS medical producer raised major skepticism, and it was viewed internally as a thinly veiled anonymous leak to someone who'd carry it. Humiliating. He never even dropped his phone. And all of the different angles have shown that he was not even in the trajectory of the car, and the only reason why he even touched the car at all is because he slid behind and used the car for leverage. We know that. It's on tape from numerous angles. His feet positioning by the time he fired the first shot showed that he was directly outside of the trajectory of the moving vehicle, just so you understand. And yet, people are still following up on this lie and presenting it as though it's proof. Caroline Leavitt warned Tony DeKoppel and CBS News team to air their Trump interview in full or we'll sue your ass off. Scoop by New York Times by Ben Mullen. Click to hear yourself. So even when these guys are sucking up to the Trump administration is still demanding more. I do want to cover this part of the story as well. The Independent reports Bari Weiss and Trump exchanged kisses on the cheek following 60 Minutes interview. One must ask the question, which cheeks? So yeah, that's what's happening in American mainstream news. Also, Bulwark had Jacob Fray on, and they asked him the question, like, what legal avenues can you pursue with local law enforcement? And this was his answer.
You're basically asking, can our cops arrest them?
Yeah.
From a legal perspective, yes. From a practical perspective, to state...
That's it. Okay, great. Do it, pussy. Do it. Then do it. The f*** are we talking about? Do it. Do it now. Do it yesterday. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it.
The reality, yeah, it does get kind of hard when they drastically outnumber us and they have bigger guns than we do. It does. And here's the thing. We don't want to...
Yeah, okay, dude. ICE agents are not going to shoot a cop, okay? And if they do, it's over anyway. It's over at that point.
Warfare in the street. We want to keep our communities safe. We're trying our very best to do that.
You're not. And by the way, this isn't me saying like, oh, Dems, please save us. I need you to understand. This is beyond that, okay? This is beyond that. At this point, it's not even about like, Democrats doing a show of force here. It's more so just like any avenue that you can pursue to put hurdles in front of these guys is good. It's a necessity. It's a necessity for the survival of this country, not just a survival of the Democratic Party or the opposition or anything like that. It's just you have to do it.
So nobody, our police officers, ICE agents, civilians, nobody can act illegally. Nobody can. And so we're trying to find the best way to prevent these ICE agents from acting illegally while not causing a firestorm on the street. Am I saying it won't happen? No, I'm not saying it won't happen. What I'm saying is like, I am in charge of keeping the peace and directing our police officers.
But you failed. You have failed. Keep the peace by doing what must be done. This is the demand.
Officers, and I got to keep everybody safe. And so I can't commit to anything.
It's crazy that you're even there, right? I can't commit one way or the other to deal with how, how our law enforcement officials should deal with rogue federal law enforcement. And it's like, these are the guys that don't tread on me guys. And they have federal agents coming into your city, menacing your citizens who aren't doing anything illegally. And you've got to.
When he said it's crazy that you're even the mayor, right? I thought he was going in a very different direction.
I have separation of powers discussions in the mayor's office. It's crazy.
The bottom line is we are.
Yeah, the situation is crazy. And you can act in a certain way to push back. Now he's calling for the radical left insurrectionists who illegally ran the Biden administration to be arrested for what they've done to our country. For those who tempted to see this as a bluster or venting, kindly recall the DOJ's investigating Welch and Fray. Everyone's asking about the auto pen. First of all, no one is asking about that. What was done is totally illegal, and anything signed that is that way is of no further force or effect. The person who worked the auto pen had no idea whether or not Biden approved of what he was doing. There was no order in writing, and it was absolutely illegal act perpetrated by the radical left insurrectionists. Yeah, okay. Maybe if Donald Trump moves to try and arrest former administration officials, maybe then they'll wake up. I don't know. Probably not. They'll probably go to prison and say, nothing we can do here, sir. It's out of our hands.
I think
there's also this. Elon Musk is terrified of Jennifer Welch, our girly pop queens over at the I've Had It side of things. This account posts, weaponization. Democrat activists Jennifer Welch and Jim Acosta say mass prosecution of Trump and Republicans would be necessary for national reconciliation when the Dems regain power, arguing that expanding the SCOTUS would be required to jail Trump. And Elon Musk says they mean it. Yeah, we do. We do mean it.
Tsunami
And I hope you remember that.
Means that Congress is going to haul Elon Musk, big balls, and a bunch of other people's ass in front and say, what crimes did you commit? And it's going to get really serious. And the same with Trump, because I believe, and this is just my opinion, that Trump and all of the bottom-feeding morons surrounding him and Elon Musk and all the bottom-feeding Klingeroners that surround him, I think they commit crimes every day. And I think to reconcile all of this is going to take hardcore, not integrity Democrats. You Democrats, you for over our country. We are serious about this. We are prosecuting. We're going to uncover every document, every phone call, everything you did. We will be relentless about it. And that's the mindset they've got to have, because I think the electorate is going from, we've got to get him out, but also we want accountability.
There has to be accountability. You have to have a situation where there's accountability. I talked about this the other day with Fanone, the former MPD police officer who almost got killed on January 6th. You know, he said, and I think it's true, that it's more than just the Dems win back the Congress and the White House. We have to change this John Roberts Supreme Court decision that gave the President of the United States a blank check. No man or woman should be above the law in this country. And Donald Trump sure as shit should not be above the law in this country. And I think the Democrats have to talk about it in these terms, that, listen, if we get back in there, and I'm not saying I'm part of the Democratic Party, but I'm saying that this is the way the Democrats should communicate. They should say when they're back in there, if you guys are going to cling to this idea that Donald Trump is unaccountable, it's just not going to work. And that means adding seats to the Supreme Court so that immunity decision can be overturned. And so Donald Trump can be held accountable for his crime.
Yeah, keep coping. They have to do this. They have to do this for stability. If they don't do this, we're okay. They have to hold people criminally liable. I know they won't. And I think most Democrats don't realize that they have to start saying this shit. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but this is my demand. And I feel like this is increasingly the demand of a lot of voters too. This kind of, in some instances, literally death and destruction and instability cannot go unpunished. Okay? If there are no penalties for behaving this way, if there are no penalties whatsoever for doing all of this stuff, then we don't have a nation. We don't have any law and order. We have nothing. This is why I'm saying, this is not an accelerationist perspective. The accelerationists are those who allow the Republicans to do whatever the they want to do. The same goes for Jacob Fray. If you don't do anything and you allow these assholes to continue people over, you don't care about preserving this country. You don't care about defending this country. You clearly don't care about defending your constituents, but you care about nothing. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. I don't think these guys are aware of what the people are demanding, or they try to stay oblivious because they don't want to act. They don't want to say anything. They're worried about the pushback that they'll get. They're worried about what the Republicans will do to them right now. And they would rather remain utterly powerless and hope that people will vote for the Democrats because there's no other options anyway. And they think that that will carry them across the finish line in the midterms. And any Democrat voter that leans into that as a real mechanism for change is a delusional idiot. So if you're one of these guys that's getting ready to say, Hasan, what can the Dems do? They should do nothing and they should just wait and they should win elections, is so unimaginably cucked. You are demanding that your party doesn't represent you right now when they should. And that is precisely why no changes will come when they're in power. Warn my audience about what? MeidasTouch Network will no longer be producing or carrying the show Political Beatdown or Mea Culpa with Michael Cohen. Wait, why? No, not my Michael. Not my Michael Cohen.
Hello?
Don't lie to me. If I tell you my story, don't cry for me. I did my time, that's fine by me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's fine by me. Oh, baby,
one of the
don't you lie
greatest
to me.
goats of all time, Michael Cohen's podcast off of the MeidasTouch Network is gone.
That's fine by me.
I've been on this podcast, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
And if I tell you my story, don't cry for me. Oh, I did my time. And that's fine by me. Oh, baby, don't lie for me. If I tell you my story, don't cry for me. I did my time, that's fine by me. This is my miracle. If you dance with the devil, it's gonna go down. Tell the truth. It's now or never. Oh, baby, don't you lie to me. Oh, baby, don't you lie to me. This is my miracle. It's coming on down. And you know where I'm gonna bring it on down, bring it on down, bring it on down.
If you dance with the devil, baby. Oh, what is this? Michael Cohen admits he was coerced and pressured by Bragg and Letitia James to testify against Trump. The star witnesses flipped on the prosecutors. Cohen wrote that from his very first meetings, he felt pressured and coerced to only provide information and testimony that would satisfy the government's desire to convict Trump. This song made your reading of that tweet fill with infinitely more aura? Yeah. Let's keep going. James' office made clear the testimony they wanted was testimony that would help them go after President Trump. Trump called it a very corrupt investigation. Everyone knew. Now Cohen admits it. Source Daily Wire. Bars, undeniable. That's not why. It's to do with Epstein. Lev Parnas, breaking news. The Epstein files just blew a hole in Michael Cohen's story. Has gone on TV, gone under oath, said the same thing. He knows nothing about the Epstein files, never heard them, never discussed them. What? I feel like, I don't know what this is, man. A Rule 35 discussion isn't casual. It implies substance. Michael Cohen needs to come forward and tell the truth, all of it. Not selectively, not through proxies, not with half answers. The country deserves to know what was offered and what was known. And why it never saw the light of day. So, Michael Cohen's back to MAGA? Is that what it is? A Rule 35? I'm only familiar with Rule 34. And I definitely don't want to see Michael Cohen Rule 34. Okay, now I got to Google Michael Cohen Rule 34. Let's see if the internet rule is correct. Michael Cohen Rule 34. Should I go to images? Okay. This is the closest. Advocate.com, OnlyFans video to gay adult video star. Okay, it turns out Rule 34 is wrong. Michael Cohen has no pornographic material made of him. We just destroyed a really important internet rule. Until this very moment, the assumption is that, now try with Grok. Nope. That's why there's a Rule 35, I guess. Oh, this is awesome too, by the way. Third Way is still tweeting. Third Way is still going crazy. Have to look at what Third Way neoliberals are saying recently. The rule is that if there isn't porn, there will be eventually. Okay, after today, we'll check back again. See if they've made porn about Michael Cohen.
Are you ready for a Vance presidency? Because that's exactly what we'll end up with if we nominate a far-left Mamdani-like candidate in 2028. The November elections proved what we've been arguing for months, the Democratic Party has to choose which project is more important, turning blue places bluer or turning red and purple places to blue. We know that focusing on the latter is the only way to defeat Trump and far-right extremism. History has shown that a moderate approach.
These are my biggest ops. These are the people that I have to duke it out with. These are the establishment liberals who say we got to keep moderating. We need more Republican adjacent Democrats. We need more Republicans. They should be treated as infiltrators. Okay. Wait, what? You found it? Not safe for work? What the? Donald Trump fucks Michael Cohen's daughter? What? But that's not Michael Cohen though. You did it. This is also, dude, what the? Still not Michael Cohen, though. Why did they let people write stuff like that? That person should be in jail. That person should be in jail. If you're allowed to write stuff like that, you should go to jail. What the do you mean underage sex as a like specific? It's like a specific tab. That site is the real free speech absolutist. Okay, well, burn it to the ground. You know, burn it with fire. How is that allowed? There are published books worse than what's available at Barnes & Noble and other book retailers. Many academia underage books, man, shaking my head. Anyway, let's get back to third way neoliberalism.
Approach is the way Democrats win. Hear me out. Since 1980, Democrats have only won the White House once without winning a supermajority of moderate voters nationwide. So what does that actually mean for us? Mamdani won just 36% of the moderate vote. Take that and extrapolate it nationwide, and the results are bad. Like, bad. Compare that to moderates like Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger.
It's just real winners, honestly. Real charismatic figures we'll be hearing quite a bit from.
Who won more than 60% of the moderate vote. Just look what happens when you apply those margins of victory nationwide. That's the difference between electoral ruin and renewal. Are you ready?
Hi, it's us, the centrist establishment that's been running the Democratic Party and produced every Dem nominee in recent history. Things are going really great for us, right? So we have some advice for how Dems can keep up our awesome win record in 2028. Yep. It's incredible that these guys still get to chirp and they haven't been like ritualistically humiliated and pushed out of every orifice of polite society, because this is what the donors want. And because it's what the donors want, they keep churning out the same dumbass propaganda. Here is the proof that this kind of shit is stupid.